Hello, I am Ivy the Occultist on YouTube and Instagram, and today we're going to be talking about manifestation boxes in witchcraft. I am creating a manifestation box today, and I thought I would show you my process for this because I know that people make manifestation boxes in a bunch of different ways, but I did this last year and it really worked well for me, and I think I've gotten to a point where I've kind of perfected my routine. So I thought I'd share that with you as I craft this. So first of all, what is a manifestation box? Well, it's kind of like a box that you put a bunch of stuff in, charged with your intention, of course, and your energy, and then you let it manifest. It's kind of similar to a vision board, but instead of having a vision board that you look at on a regular basis, you have it in a box stored somewhere away that you're not looking at it, you're not thinking about it, and it's manifesting while you are subconsciously going about your day. So you can create a manifestation box for the entire year to help reach your New Year's goals or whatever that looks like for you. I personally like to create my manifestation boxes around springtime. So I'm kind of doing this early this year. It's not springtime where I'm living yet, and then I let it manifest all summer long, all fall long. And then in the winter time, I open up my box and I review all the things inside to see if they manifested or if they didn't. Last year's was really successful. And then winter time, I kind of go into rest mode. I go into rest and hibernation, just kind of brainstorming the things that I want for the next year. And then sometime around springtime is when I usually do another manifestation box for the whole next year. But again, like I said, I'm doing it a little bit early this year. But you don't just have to make manifestation boxes for the entire year. You can do it on a monthly basis. So if you were to do it on a monthly basis, I would recommend doing this on a new moon, if at all possible. A new moon really does symbolize new beginnings, new life. It is the bud, it's the seed of creation. So if you can create a manifestation box on a new moon and then let it manifest up until the full moon, and then after the full moon, we're entering the waning phase, and that's when you can take apart the box, look at all the things inside, deconstruct, and do what you need to do there. So you can do it on a monthly basis. You can even do it on a weekly basis if you want. This is not something that you have to do for any particular length of time. I really love manifestation boxes because it's something that you can put away out of sight, out of mind. And that way you don't trip yourself up for success because your desires are subconsciously manifesting. So I love these manifestation boxes. I'm going to walk you through what is in mine this year. But first, let me show you. So this is the box that I chose for this year. And this is just a box that I found at the thrift store. I think it was like $3 or something like that. But it's gorgeous and it's huge. So I'm definitely going to be able to put a lot of stuff in here. And it's in really good condition too. And it's like heavy duty. I'm surprised that I got it for like $2 or $3, or it was definitely under $5. I know that. And before I show you the ritual, I'm going to talk about kind of what I'm putting in this manifestation box this year. So I have on pieces of paper, I'm not going to really show you what I wrote, but on the other side of this piece of paper, I have my goals and things that I want to manifest for this year. So I have lots and lots of these papers that I wrote down, as you can see. And they're for all categories of life. I mean, I'm doing some international travel this year. I have some stuff for my YouTube channel in here, my career, my schooling. I'm getting married this next year. I'm also working on a writing project that I really want to develop this year. So there's just a lot of different things, and also, of course, money, right? We all need money to manifest our dreams, unfortunately, in this world we've built, but there is some stuff related to money and finances in here. So think about all the different categories. If you're doing this on a yearly basis, I would recommend looking at all the different categories of life and seeing what you would like to really improve. But if you're doing this on like a monthly basis or a weekly basis, you're probably not going to manifest literally everything that you desire in all categories of your life in 1 month. So you'll have to tailor whatever you write down on the piece of paper. Make sure it matches the amount of time you plan to have this in the manifestation box, because some of this stuff is going to take a long time for all the pieces to kind of work into place. And some of these that I wrote down are goals that might actually take like 2 to 5 years to really fall into place, but I want some of the pieces to start falling into place this year. So I also created a sigil for this next year. So this is my sigil. It doesn't have to be anything super pretty. I mean, look at that. It's not pretty, okay? It does not have to be a gorgeous sigil. It just has to be functional and effective. So I created a sigil using the phrase, I achieve all my goals for 2023. And then I used the planetary grid for Jupiter because I love working with Jupiter. The energy is just expansive and abundant, and I felt like it really fit my intentions well. But you can create a sigil however you want to create a sigil. If you're not familiar with how to create sigils or what they are or whatever, planetary grids and all that, I will link my sigil video down below in the description box because I'm not really going to be going into that today. But I created this sigil for achieving all of these goals that I have written down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge up this sigil and I'm going to burn it. So that will be my charging and my activating. Again, if you're not familiar with the terms of charging a sigil and activating a sigil, check out that sigil video. But then I also have some prosperity oil that I'm going to draw the sigil that I have created in oil, in the prosperity oil, on the back of all of these pieces of paper, so that not only is this sigil charged and activated for achieving all my goals, but I have that sigil written on all of these pieces of paper as well. That way there is just tons of energy going into this. And I will eventually get to the ritual, I promise. I'll show you that on the screen. But after I've got my sigil charged and activated, I've got the oil on the papers, I folded up the papers and put it in the manifestation box. Let's talk about some additional correspondences that you might want to throw in your manifestation box. So crystals are great to put in manifestation boxes. You can always put in a little piece of selenite or some quartz for some good cleansing, charging energy. Quartz is excellent, especially clear quartz. It's just great for amplifying all the other energies in the box. So I almost always put some clear quartz in there, but I am going to put some selenite in there as well. I've got some honey calcite, and really the crystals are just going to depend on whatever intention it is that you're putting in this box. But beyond that, you can also add some herbs. So I will be throwing in some herbs that match my correspondences as well. Make sure your herbs are dried and that they're not slightly damp still, because you don't want a moldy box. Nobody wants that. That's disgusting. You can also add little items and trinkets that correspond. Like, let's say you're working with a particular deity and you have a small little figurine of your deity that you worship or that you work with on a regular basis, and you really want their assistance in manifesting all these things in this box. What you can do is you can put the small figurine in that box as well. Keys are another great thing to put in a manifestation box. So if you have any skeleton keys or just keys in general, keys are great representations of unlocking doors, opening new possibilities. So if you're really looking to be prosperous and have new opportunities come your way and basically barrel through any blockages that may be hindering you, adding some keys is going to be a great correspondence to use. If you're looking to do a little bit more psychological work, like let's say you're using your manifestation box to kick a bad habit or something, or to start a new project and really change the way that you think about a certain situation, you can use skulls. Skulls are great for psychological work when you're trying to work with your own mind, changing your perceptions about something, or doing any shadow work, like I mentioned previously, getting rid of bad habits, anything like that. And then I also like adding mirrors into manifestation boxes as well. So if you have like a little handheld mirror, what I love to do is either put a mirror in a box or get a box that has mirrors all on the inside, because a mirror is really going to magnify everything in that box. So that is my little secret sauce, I guess, is adding a mirror into the manifestation box. Another thing that I wanted to suggest that most people wouldn't think about is adding rice into your manifestation boxes. I know that sounds really silly, but first of all, it's so cheap and abundant, but rice is seen as a symbol of prosperity and abundance. So I love adding rice into manifestation boxes and money bowls. And the history of the metaphysical properties of rice goes way back. If you've ever seen people throwing rice at a wedding, you know, when the bride and groom walks out and then people throw rice at them, it's a sign of good fortune and prosperity. So if that relates to your intention that's going in the manifestation box, definitely add some rice. Obviously, it definitely pertains to what I'm trying to manifest, so I just wanted to throw that in there. I also like to add some additional oracle cards or tarot cards that pertain to whatever subjects are going in the box. So if I have an oracle card specifically for prosperity or for ancestral work or healing trauma or protection or road opening, you know, whatever corresponds to your intentions, you can see a common theme here. You can pretty much put whatever you want into a manifestation box. Some additional items that I have put in my box are these rocks. They're not necessarily crystals, but they're like, I don't know if you can see it or not, but these are rocks that are little slabs that we found, that my partner and I found on a rock hounding adventure. So we like to go rock hounding, although we haven't gone in a really long time and I really, really miss it. But we used to go rock hounding quite a bit, where we'd go up to the mountains and dig out our own quartz and, you know, things like that. So this is something that we found. I really want to add this in because I have a lot of goals related to my relationship this year, since I am getting married and it's just a big transition, and I wanted to add something sentimental in the manifestation box, and that's definitely these rocks. It ties to a memory that I have with us rock hounding together and really being able to share similar interests and being outside in nature. We're both very outdoorsy people, so I'll be adding that in. And then I also have some goals this year related to my coven, because I want my coven to continue being prosperous as well. And so this is a little bit of knot magic that I did. Well, so on one of the retreats that my coven went on, I think it was a Beltane retreat that we did this, but we did some knot magic together and we all created these little knots with the energy of that retreat. And I really want to manifest more energy like that in our coven and just continuing on this wonderful dynamic of human beings that we have. So I'm going to add some knot magic into that. So next, let's talk about the ritual and the preparations for ritual, because this is going to be a larger ritual for some people. You can make it super simple and short and sweet if you like. I like to make it a little bit longer of a ritual, especially because this is something that I want to manifest. I have a lot of goals going into this manifestation box for the entire year of 2023. So I really want to be putting a ton of energy into this manifestation box, because it's going to take a ton of energy in order to manifest all these different goals that I have written down. If I were doing a manifestation box where I was just trying to manifest one thing that was not necessarily large in scale, but if I were just to try to do one thing, then maybe I wouldn't do as elaborate of a ritual. But you really want to put the amount of energy into this ritual that's necessary to manifest how many intentions you have going in here and how big those intentions are. So that's definitely something you'll want to consider. But just in preparations for this ritual, I've got my gold jewelry on. I really wanted to deck myself out in gold today because I wanted it to be really prosperous and abundant, and I wanted to feel like my energy was big. I wanted to bring in the energy of the sun into this manifestation box, especially because I'm working with the grid of Jupiter, and Jupiter is also super abundant and very expressive, so I wanted to bring in that energy today. So I wanted to make sure that I was matching the energy that I wanted to bring into this box. But if you're wanting to do a manifestation box for protection, or maybe there's something where you have a lot of anxiety and you want to do a manifestation box to help you be a little bit more calm, a little bit more still, a little bit more safe, then maybe you would be wearing something really cozy that makes you feel that way. So it's really just about embody that energy as much as you possibly can. So let's get to this actual ritual. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to anoint all these pieces of paper with the sigil. I'll use the prosperity oil to anoint it in the shape of the sigil, but I'm going to do that off camera because it's going to take me time to work through all these pieces of paper. I mean, I have a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna do this off camera just so it's not so boring. But what I also like to do is, and I'm sure a lot of witches already do this, but when I have these pieces of paper, I always fold towards me to bring that energy in, and then I turn it clockwise. Although I have heard that that's just for the northern hemisphere. For the southern hemisphere, it would be counterclockwise to bring things in, because you guys, it's a little bit different for you down in the southern hemisphere. But because I'm in the northern hemisphere, I turn it clockwise to bring things to me, and then I fold it inwards again, turn it clockwise again, and then a third final time fold it towards me. And so this will be the final form for all of these pieces of paper. And one thing I did want to discuss is charging these pieces of paper and these items with your intention. This is one of the most important parts of the manifestation box. You're not just taking a bunch of random stuff and just throwing it in a box and hoping that it manifests. There is some energy work involved here, so you're definitely going to want to know how to center, how to ground, and how to direct your energy. And if you don't already know how to do that, I do have a video for that as well, so I will link that down below along with the other video that I mentioned. That video is going to explain how to actually direct your energy into these items. But you want to be spending time charging each and every single item that goes in your manifestation box with your energy, with your intention. You want to be visualizing this as if it's something that you already have. So let's say that this is a piece of paper that says, I have X job. I have whatever your dream job is. You are going to visualize in your mind that you already have that job. You are going to see yourself walking into work. You're going to see your coworkers. You're going to feel the way that you would feel if you had that job. And that is so important to really kind of trick your brain into thinking that it's something that you already have. So you're going to spend some time with each one of these items, charging it up with your intention, visualizing that it's something that you already have. And if you're not a huge visualizer, then that's okay. You just want to make sure that the wording on your pieces of paper is in present tense and not past tense. So if you're saying something like, I want this job, or I want to get this job in the future, or something like that, what you would want to say is, I have this job. So as long as you have the right wording of this actually being something that you have, if you struggle with visualization, you don't necessarily have to do the visualization component. I still believe it can be successful for you. So let me go do all of these off of camera, and then I will show you the ritual. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that this gave you some inspiration for how you want to go about manifesting things in your witchcraft practice. As always, I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you in a video soon. Bye.